Chosen one. This is the talk of the town. It is going down, and it's all about your look. The systematic conspiracy against you is crumbling. 300 people are facing justice. Your wealthy admirer is stepping forward, and your elevation is becoming the story everyone can't stop discussing. Your energy has shifted the entire game, and now it's time to understand exactly how your journey from isolation to vindication became the cosmic event that's shaking every community, institution, and power structure that tried to break you. The opposition you faced throughout your life wasn't random. Those difficult neighbors who seemed to have problems with everything you did, the workplace situations where you faced inexplicable hostility, the community dynamics where you felt excluded for reasons you couldn't pinpoint, the stores where you were followed or watched suspiciously, the schools where your children faced unusual challenges, the constant moving from place to place because somehow everywhere you went, the environment became toxic. You thought you were paranoid. You thought you were reading too much into situations. You convinced yourself that maybe you were the problem, maybe you were too sensitive, maybe you needed to try harder to fit in. The gaslighting was so consistent, so pervasive, that you began to doubt your own perceptions. The truth is more disturbing than you imagined. There has been a coordinated effort against you, spanning multiple communities, institutions, and years. People you never met were given information about you before you even arrived. Neighbors were primed to create problems. Workplace supervisors were briefed to make your job difficult. Store employees were instructed to treat you with suspicion. This systematic oppression wasn't targeting you personally in the beginning. You represented something that threatened a particular system. Your authenticity, your refusal to compromise your values, your natural tendency to speak truth when others remain silent. These qualities marked you as dangerous to people who profit from keeping others small, confused, and compliant. The scope of this conspiracy is staggering. 300 people were eventually involved in coordinated activities designed to wear you down, break your spirit, and force you into poverty, isolation, or worse. This network included people in law enforcement, court officials, community leaders, business owners, and neighbors who were recruited or coerced into participating. Your ability to sense these invisible barriers, to feel the systematic exclusion even when you couldn't prove it, shows your spiritual sensitivity was always trying to protect you. That hypervigilance you developed, that constant feeling of being watched or targeted, you weren't imagining it. Your intuition was screaming warnings about a very real threat. Each place you lived, each job you worked, each community you tried to join, they were unknown shores where challenges awaited you. You were being tested repeatedly, pushed to your limits, forced to develop resilience and self-reliance that most people never need to cultivate. Your response to this systematic attack is what sets you apart as a chosen one. Instead of becoming bitter, vindictive, or defeated, you maintained your integrity. You handled each challenge with grace. You refused to compromise your values even when it would have been easier to conform. You kept your dignity intact while others tried to strip it away. The community energy around you has been particularly toxic. Older people who lost their vitality and authenticity resent your natural radiance. They see someone who still carries fire, who still believes in possibilities, who refuses to settle for mediocrity. Your presence reminds them of everything they gave up on. This witchy, bitter energy manifests as constant gossip, manufactured drama, and attempts to pull you into conflicts that serve no purpose except to drain your energy. You learn to stay above these dynamics, to avoid engaging with community drama while remaining aware of the undercurrents of hostility around you. Your workplace experiences reveal the institutional nature of this opposition. That job where they kept your final paycheck, creating elaborate justifications for theft. The supervisor who suddenly changed your schedule to create hardship. The co-worker who spread rumors or sabotaged your projects. The company policies that seemed designed specifically to target your situation. Through all of this, you maintained your professionalism. You called out injustice when necessary, documented problems appropriately, and sought resolution through proper channels. You handled each situation with honor, understanding that karma would eventually balance the scales. The orchestrator of this elaborate campaign against you is someone who has been watching you for years, someone who studied your life, your habits, your relationships, your responses to stress, someone who became obsessed with destroying you because you represent everything they wish they could be. This person is connected to your destiny in ways you never imagined. They are married to or in a relationship with someone wealthy and influential who has been observing your journey from a distance. While you faced attack after attack, this person was watching how you handled each challenge. They were impressed by your resilience, your integrity, your ability to transform adversity into strength. The mastermind couldn't stand this admiration. They couldn't tolerate that their partner was drawn to your character, your authenticity, your spiritual strength. In their mind, if they could break you down, discredit you, or eliminate you entirely, they could eliminate the competition for their partner's attention and respect. This psychological warfare campaign was methodical and ruthless. They worked to isolate you from potential support systems. They spread lies about your character throughout communities before you even arrived. They manipulated people who had their own insecurities and grievances, turning them into weapons against you. The goal was systematic destruction. They wanted to wear you down through constant stress, beat you down through repeated failures and rejections, run you down until you looked desperate and unstable. They wanted to create a narrative where you appeared to be the problem, where your legitimate complaints about mistreatment would be dismissed as paranoia or mental illness. This person recruited others into their campaign by exploiting their weaknesses. They found people who were jealous of your success, bitter about their own failures, or simply cruel enough to enjoy watching someone suffer. They created a network of co-conspirators who each played small roles in a larger plan to destroy your life. The manipulation was sophisticated. They studied narcissistic abuse tactics, employing gaslighting, projection, and triangulation on a community-wide scale. They turned people against you who had never met you, creating prejudice and hostility before you had any chance to form genuine relationships. Your ability to sense this malevolent energy, even when you couldn't identify its source, demonstrates your spiritual gifts. You knew something was wrong long before you could prove it. You felt the coordinated nature of the opposition, even when it appeared random. Your intuition kept trying to warn you about dangers you couldn't yet see clearly. Hold that thought. I need your full attention. This is bigger than anything you've heard today. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, how to heal yourself, heal others, and activate your divine mission. No filters, no fluff, no holding back. Each week on Zoom, we unlock the exact techniques that took us from controlled pawns to conscious creators. We've packed it with the occult codes we've gathered through years of real spiritual warfare and transformation. This is your invitation to join the Obsidian Inner Order, not just to access forbidden knowledge, but to amplify a global frequency that awakens other chosen ones. You're not just joining a call, you're stepping into a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360-carat win for all of us. Link in description. The order awaits. The mastermind's obsession grew over time. What started as jealousy evolved into a sick addiction. They became consumed with monitoring your responses, analyzing your strategies, looking for new ways to inflict damage. They lost themselves in this campaign, sacrificing their own well-being and relationships in pursuit of your destruction. Meanwhile, the person they were trying to protect or impress was developing deeper admiration for you. Every challenge you overcame, every graceful response to injustice, every demonstration of your character only increased their respect. They began to see you as someone worthy of their attention, someone who possessed qualities their current partner lacked. This dynamic created a feedback loop where the mastermind's efforts to diminish you in their partner's eyes actually had the opposite effect. Your strength under pressure, your refusal to become bitter or vindictive, your ability to maintain dignity while others acted with malice, these qualities shone brighter against the backdrop of coordinated attacks. The final phase of this campaign against you crossed every line. What had been psychological warfare and systematic harassment escalated to an actual attempt on your life. The mastermind and their network of conspirators planned to eliminate you permanently while making it appear accidental. They arranged for building security to leave doors unlocked. They created fire hazards and safety violations that could provide cover for your death. They coordinated timing so that multiple people would have alibis while you faced mortal danger. This wasn't a crime of passion, this was premeditated murder disguised as unfortunate circumstances. Your awareness saved your life. By this point in your journey, you had developed such keen intuition about danger that you immediately recognized the setup. You saw through their staging, their fake concern, their manufactured emergencies. You knew this was an orchestrated attempt to kill you. Their desperation led to sloppiness. The same systematic approach that had been their strength became their weakness. Too many people were involved, too many moving parts, too much coordination required. Someone made mistakes, someone left evidence, someone talked to the wrong person. The false arrest that followed their failed murder attempt was equally revealing. When they couldn't kill you outright, they tried to frame you for crimes you didn't commit. They confiscated your legally owned weapons, hoping to make you vulnerable to future attacks. They attempted to destroy your reputation and credibility through fabricated charges. Your response to this false arrest exposed their incompetence further. You didn't panic, you didn't break down. You recognized the pattern immediately and handled the situation with the same dignity you had shown throughout years of smaller attacks. Your calm professionalism, under extreme duress, impressed even those who were supposed to be working against you. The radio communication error that led to your release was divine intervention working through human error. When they called in for backup, they provided the wrong information, identifying you incorrectly. This mistake unraveled their carefully planned frame job and created the opening for truth to emerge. Evidence collection during this period was extensive. Pictures were taken of the staged crime scene. Recordings were made of the coordination calls. Documentation existed proving the conspiracy. Your phone contained photos that were confiscated, but copies existed elsewhere. The digital footprint of their activities was vast and incriminating. You could see the implications for the future, even as events unfolded. Your spiritual gifts allowed you to perceive how this final overreach would lead to their downfall. You knew their time was running out. You understood that their desperation had caused them to make fatal errors that would expose everything. The hourglass had turned and time was no longer on their side. Every moment they had spent plotting against you was now working against them. The energy they had invested in your destruction was returning to them multiplied. The network they had built to attack you was becoming the evidence needed to convict them. Your awareness of their plans, your ability to anticipate their moves, your refusal to be surprised by their escalation, all of this demonstrated that you were operating on a different level of consciousness. You had been prepared for this moment through every previous challenge. You were ready for their final assault because you had been training for it your entire journey. The collapse began immediately after their failed assassination attempt. 300 people who had participated in the conspiracy against you suddenly found themselves under investigation. The network that had seemed so powerful and coordinated crumbled as each member tried to save themselves. Court officials who had abused their authority were exposed. Law enforcement officers who had participated in harassment and false arrests faced charges. Community leaders who had spread lies and encouraged discrimination lost their positions. Business owners who had participated in economic sabotage faced legal consequences. The separation was swift and brutal. People who had been part of this network found themselves cut off from their families, friends, and professional associates. The revelation of their participation in a coordinated campaign of harassment and attempted murder destroyed their relationships and reputations. Many of the conspirators went into hiding. The main organizers fled rather than face the consequences of their actions. Some left their communities entirely, abandoning their homes and businesses rather than confront the evidence against them. Others tried to blame their participation on coercion or manipulation, claiming they didn't understand the full scope of what they were involved in. The charges were extensive: stalking, harassment, conspiracy, attempted murder, abuse of authority, obstruction of justice, and civil rights violations. The systematic nature of the campaign against you had created a paper trail that made prosecution straightforward once investigators began looking. The health consequences for your attackers were immediate and severe. The stress of exposure, investigation and prosecution took a physical toll on people who had invested years in hatred and malicious activity. Many developed serious health problems that mirrored the suffering they had tried to inflict on you. The karmic justice was visible to everyone. People who had wished poverty on you lost their own financial security. Those who had tried to damage your health experienced illness themselves. Those who had attempted to destroy your relationships found their own families torn apart by the revelation of their activities. Your vindication was complete and public. The community that had been turned against you now understood the truth. The narrative that had painted you as difficult or paranoid was revealed as orchestrated gaslighting. Your behavior throughout years of attacks was recontextualized as remarkable restraint and dignity. The invisible barriers that had limited your opportunities were dismantled through legal action. Companies that had participated in employment discrimination faced lawsuits. Organizations that had excluded you unfairly were required to make amends. The systematic oppression was being systematically dismantled. Your grace throughout this vindication process impressed everyone involved. You didn't gloat over your enemy's downfall. You didn't seek revenge beyond legal justice. You maintained the same dignity that had characterized your response to their attacks. This response elevated you even further in the eyes of those who were watching. The talk of the town became your transformation rather than the conspiracy against you. People marveled at how you had survived years of coordinated attacks while maintaining your integrity. Your ability to move forward without bitterness became a topic of community discussion and admiration. While justice pursued your attackers, blessings began flowing into your life with equal intensity. The wealthy person who had been observing your journey throughout this ordeal stepped forward to make their intentions known. Their admiration for your character, your resilience, your ability to transform adversity into strength had grown into something deeper. This person had witnessed every attack against you and every graceful response you made. They had seen you maintain your values under pressure that would have broken most people. They had watched you choose integrity over convenience, truth over acceptance, dignity over revenge. Your character had impressed them more than any conventional courtship could have. The autumn season brought the beginning of this new relationship. The timing was perfect. As the conspiracy against you crumbled and justice emerged, love entered your life from an unexpected direction. This wasn't a desperate connection born from loneliness, but a meeting of equals who recognized each other's worth. Your alchemical nature, your ability to transform negative experiences into wisdom and strength, fascinated this person. They had never met anyone who could take such systematic abuse and emerge not just unbroken, but actually stronger and more radiant. Your spiritual gifts, your resilience, your unshakable core values made you unlike anyone they had ever encountered. A mature, influential person began making decisions about your occupational future. Someone in a position of authority recognized your unique qualifications, not just your professional skills, but your demonstrated ability to maintain excellence under extreme pressure. They understood that someone who could perform well while under systematic attack would be extraordinary in a supportive environment. The house you had lost or never been able to obtain became available through your legal settlements. The financial security that had been systematically undermined was restored with interest. The opportunities that had been blocked by conspiracy were reopened with additional advantages. This abundance wasn't just material. Your emotional and spiritual wealth multiplied as well. The isolation that had felt like punishment was revealed as preparation. The loneliness that had seemed endless transformed into appreciation for genuine connection. The self-reliance you had been forced to develop became the foundation for healthy interdependence. Your inner child, wounded by years of systematic attack, began healing through this validation and support. The relationship that was developing offered not just romantic partnership, but emotional safety you hadn't experienced since childhood. Someone finally saw your true worth and was willing to invest in your well-being. The business ventures that emerged offered you the chance to use your unique experiences to help others. Your journey through systematic oppression and emergence into abundance positioned you to guide others facing similar challenges. Your story became a blueprint for survival and transformation. The endless nature of this blessing became apparent as more opportunities continued emerging. This wasn't a temporary relief from struggle, but a permanent shift into a life of abundance and purpose. The drought was over, and the flood of blessings showed no signs of slowing. Your growth through this ordeal has been profound and visible. The person you became through surviving systematic attack is someone who attracts respect, admiration, and love from people of quality. You've grown mature in ways that can only come from handling extreme adversity with grace. The strength you developed through being forced to handle everything alone now makes you an incredibly attractive partner. Someone who can stand independently, doesn't need to cling or depend desperately on others. Your self-sufficiency makes you a choice, not a necessity, in any relationship you enter. Your perseverance, your refusal to quit even when everything seemed hopeless, demonstrates a level of character that's rare in any era. The person who has been watching your journey recognizes this quality and wants someone with that kind of determination in their life. They understand that you won't abandon ship when challenges arise. The official recognition of your character has been long overdue. Throughout the conspiracy against you, you maintained moral standards and values that impressed even those who were supposed to be working against you. Now that the truth has emerged, your reputation for integrity precedes you in every interaction. You're ready for the change that's coming because you've completed the lesson plan. Every challenge you faced, every attack you survived, every graceful response you made was preparing you for this new phase of life. You've earned your advancement through demonstrated competence under the worst possible conditions. The partnership that's developing offers you someone who appreciates what you've survived and the strength it created in you. They don't see you as damaged by your experiences, but as refined by them. They understand that your journey has created unique wisdom and capabilities that make you an exceptional partner. Your comfort with going it alone has prepared you for healthy interdependence. Because you don't need someone else to complete you, you can choose to share your completeness with someone worthy. Your relationship won't be built on desperation or codependence, but on mutual respect and genuine compatibility. The exploration of uncharted territory that lies ahead offers you possibilities you never imagined. Your life is moving into areas you've never experienced: financial abundance, emotional security, recognition for your true worth, partnership with someone who values your character above all else. Your teaching mission is becoming clear. Others who are facing systematic oppression, community hostility, workplace harassment, or coordinated attacks can learn from your example. Your story demonstrates that it's possible to survive the worst that evil people can devise while maintaining your integrity and emerging stronger. The collective healing that your story provides extends far beyond your personal circle. People who have felt isolated, targeted, or systematically excluded recognize themselves in your journey. Your emergence into abundance and love gives them hope that their own suffering has purpose and their own vindication is possible. The divine plan that orchestrated every aspect of your journey is now revealed. Every attack was allowed because it would ultimately serve your elevation. Every challenge was permitted because it would develop qualities you needed for your destiny. Every moment of isolation was designed to prepare you for the connection that was coming. Your legacy will be the example you set of how to handle systematic evil with grace, dignity, and unshakable faith in ultimate justice. Future generations will study your story as a masterclass in survival, transformation, and the triumph of character over conspiracy. The Chosen One's journey you've completed has prepared you for the Chosen One's destiny that's now beginning. Everything you've endured has meaning. Everything you've survived has purpose. Everything you've learned has application in the abundant life that's unfolding before you. This is the talk of the town now, not the conspiracy against you, but your elevation beyond it. People marvel at your transformation from isolated target to abundant victor. Your story has become the evidence that good does triumph over evil, that character does matter, and that divine justice does exist. Your look, that powerful energy that can bless or challenge others, will now be used in service of your true purpose. The same presence that intimidated your enemies will inspire those who need hope. The same strength that survived systematic attack will now build something beautiful and lasting. Your future stretches ahead, filled with possibilities you couldn't have imagined during the darkest moments of your journey. The abundance flowing toward you is proportional to the adversity you survived. The love entering your life is worthy of the character you maintained under pressure. The recognition you're receiving matches the integrity you demonstrated when no one was watching. You are moving from survival mode into creation mode, from defense into offense, from enduring attack into building legacy, from isolation into community leadership, from victim of conspiracy into victor over evil. The talk of the town will be your continued elevation, your successful partnership, your business achievements, your community contributions, and your ongoing demonstration that chosen ones don't just survive their trials, they transform them into triumph that inspires others and changes the world around them. Your look will continue to carry power, but now it will be the look of someone who has been vindicated, blessed, elevated, and positioned to help others find their own path from darkness into light. The same energy that survived systematic evil will now create systematic good. The transformation you've undergone doesn't end with your personal victory. Your story has become a catalyst for widespread change in every community that witnessed your journey. People who participated in the conspiracy against you, whether actively or passively, are now examining their own behavior and motivations. Those who stood by silently while you faced harassment are confronting their cowardice. Community members who spread gossip or participated in your exclusion are recognizing how easily they were manipulated into serving someone else's malicious agenda. The revelation of the coordinated campaign has forced entire neighborhoods to reckon with their susceptibility to group manipulation. Your former workplaces are implementing new policies to prevent the kind of systematic discrimination you endured. The documentation of how easily workplace environments can be weaponized against targeted individuals has created awareness that protecting others from similar treatment. Your experience has become a case study in organizational psychology and workplace ethics. The legal precedents established through your case are creating protection for future targets of coordinated harassment. The 300 people who faced consequences for their participation in the conspiracy against you have sent a clear message that such activities carry real risks. Future potential conspirators understand that systematic oppression is not without consequences. Educational institutions are studying your story as an example of resilience and character development under extreme pressure. The way you maintained your values while facing coordinated attacks from multiple directions has become a model for ethical behavior under duress. Students learn from your example that integrity isn't just about doing right when it's easy, but maintaining principles when everything is against you. Mental health professionals are incorporating your journey into their understanding of trauma recovery and post-traumatic growth. Your ability to transform systematic abuse into spiritual strength challenges conventional wisdom about victim psychology. Your example demonstrates that some people don't just survive extreme adversity, they use it as fuel for extraordinary development. The wealthy individual who chose you as a partner has also been transformed by witnessing your journey. Their decision to pursue someone of your character over conventional attractions has influenced their entire social circle. Other people of means are reconsidering what they value in relationships and partnerships. Your influence extends into spiritual communities where people are learning to recognize the difference between genuine persecution and perceived slights. Your experience provides a template for understanding when individual challenges are part of larger patterns of systematic oppression versus isolated incidents requiring different responses. The ripple effects continue expanding as your story spreads through networks of people who needed to hear it. Others who are currently facing coordinated attacks find hope in your vindication. Those who feel isolated and targeted understand that their experiences might be part of larger patterns they can't yet see. Your elevation isn't just personal triumph, it's cosmic correction. The universe used your situation to expose and dismantle a network of evil that was affecting far more people than just you. Your refusal to break under pressure became the catalyst that brought down an entire system of organized harassment and systematic oppression. This is your time. This is your season. This is your elevation. The chosen one's journey through the valley is complete. The chosen one's reign on the mountain has begun.